Hello and happy Friday. Oh, it is the end of 2024. And today we're going to talk about what's on my mind as we close this year. It's been an interesting year. I'm ending the first season of my podcast, and we're going to take January off and come back in February. I'm super excited about the guests that I already have lined up for February for season two. We're going to change it up a little bit. Season one was kind of me dipping my toe into the podcast world and enjoying, the podcast came as a way of combining my top values, which are connections, fun, and enthusiasm. And I've really done that. I've loved connecting with all the amazing guests that I've had since July. So it was at 6 months. We did, I think this is my 24th episode. This will be my 25th episode. I cheated. I just looked. It's my 25th episode. So, um, yeah, so it's been fun and I've had some great conversations. And season one was a lot of people that I already knew. Season two, I have no idea who these people are. I met them through some different I put out a call in the social media world and have screened some really fun people to bring to the podcast in 2025. So I'm excited for that. But I wanted to just kind of check in and just reflect on this past year and what I'm looking for into 2025. And I hope that some of my reflections maybe inspire something in you. 2024 has been not without some challenges. I started the year by healing from hip replacement that I had done in October of 2023. And my immune system kind of kicked my butt for the first few months of the year. So I would say I was still in physical therapy for my hip until May of 2024. And then in October, I had my knee done. So I'm ending the year still recovering from that. And it's been a journey. It really has been a journey of self-awareness, self-reflection, the willingness to sit and be vulnerable and just surrender to the white space, the white noise, the nothingness. And some days it was easier than others. And on the days that it wasn't easy, it wasn't easy. Connections being one of my top values, there was a lot of feeling isolated. And I know this time of year, people feel isolated. And if that's you and you're listening, I just want to share, like, it does get better. It does get better. Um, yeah, and if you need support, reach out, right? Because sometimes you can't, people don't always know what you need. Ask for what you need. And if you ask and they can't give it to you, they're not the right person for you in that moment. I did ask, and some people stepped up, some didn't, and that was okay. Um, and sometimes it was hard to ask, and I just wanted to be cranky, and I did that too. What I realized was a lot of that was being held in my body, right? I had a lot of stuckness in my body because I was stuck. I was stuck physically, I was stuck emotionally, I was stuck spiritually, I was stuck in all the stuckness. And I had to do some work to kind of get unstuck. And it takes work and it takes support to do that. And I reached out and I had the support. I I think one of the biggest things that I learned was letting go, right? Even more so. I posted a few weeks ago that I half decorated my Christmas tree. It took, I think, a week for me to decorate it. And I was okay with it. I see people rushing around and running, and somebody said to me, "Oh, is everything done? Are you crazy with the holidays?" And I said, "No. Like I don't get crazy with the holidays anymore." Um, Part of that is by choice. I think it's all, well, that's not true. I think all of it is by choice. My husband and I choose not to exchange gifts. We tend to like experiences. So we'll have a nice dinner or go to a show, or this year we're not even sure we're going to do that. We're looking at saving some money for some other things. So we go out enough to eat. So we may not even do that. But I used to have big teams and I would buy for everyone in the team and I would take my leaders out to dinner and I don't have that. So that craziness is gone. So it's really just the people that I want to buy for, which are my niece and my nephew, and the family does a Yankee swap, and it's okay to just stop, right? Nobody has ever died because your Christmas tree wasn't up or your lights weren't put out or anything else. I think we lose sight of what the holiday season is. And yes, I'm a happy holidays person because I feel like from Thanksgiving to New Year's, there's so much to celebrate. And I don't care, it's not a religious thing. And I get that they're all religions, but it is a holiday season. It's a time for us to stop and reflect on what's important. For me, what's important is being with other people. It's not about buying things. Sorry, I took a little sip of my coffee there. Oh, as I'm going into 2025, I am excited and kind of, what the fuck? How did that happen? So I turned 60 in February and I'm struggling with that one. I'm really trying not to, but I'm struggling with it. Um, like, how did that happen? My brain is like, dude, you're 35. You go, girl. My body is like, bitch, slow down. And I'm finding the balance in between. Um, I want to share a really powerful aha that I had. It's probably close to 50, 10 or 15 years now. I've never been a big birthday person. I have always felt left down, let down, left down, let down, whatever on my birthday. Because I had these expectations that people should know what to do, that I know what to do for other people's birthday. I plan it. I don't, I expect the same. I had a therapist say to me once, Francine, you have a choice. You can be pissed off at Bill every year for your birthday, or you can tell him what you want. And I was like, no, but he should just know. And she was like, and he's not going to. Say we were married 10 years or together 10 years at that point. She's like, it's been 10 years. It's just not happening. So you have a choice. And from that moment on, because I had a choice. And it does not come natural to him. And if I said to him, I want you to do these 5 things for my birthday, he would 100% do them. But it's really hard for him to figure out what to do. And me expecting him to think like I do sets me up to fail. And some days it's easier than others. And some days, gosh, I would really love to not have to do it all. And some days I can't. So I have chosen many times to celebrate myself, right? Connections is one of my top values. I like people. So I want to have a party. So I've decided I'm throwing myself a big ass 60th birthday party. Um, and yes, I will. I'm not going to do it all myself. I'm going to have, I don't, my one of my sisters knows she's going to help. The other one will let her know. We'll let her in on that, and Bill will help. But expecting others to throw me a surprise party or do it when it gives away my power because I enjoy my birthday much more. Now, with turning 60, there comes all this other shit that I've been processing. Um, My mom died at 48. For a really long time, that was my story, that I was going to die at 48. And 12 years later, right? Did I do the math right? 12 years later, I'm still going. And I think I got quite a few more years in me. And there's some guilt in that. And it's subconscious guilt. It's not conscious guilt, but it's some stuff that has come up for me lately, that there is this guilt that I'm still here. There's guilt that I get to spend money and she doesn't. And in that process, I realized most women in my family didn't live past 65. And that, I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Right? I am breaking that generational bullshit, um, and treating myself better, with not really being able to move my body a lot lately. I have not gained weight, and I think I've lost a pound or two because I'm more conscious of what I'm putting into my body. I don't want the inflammatory foods in my system because they have been fucking with my system for a really long time. And I'm over it. So as we turn the clocks, the calendar at the end of the year, I look at 2025 and I don't know, 60 is a pretty powerful year. 30 years ago, when I turned 30, um, I quit smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day and I lost over 100 pounds. So it feels like there's this 30th anniversary of that big change. And it feels like there's another really big shift coming. I've invested a lot in my business for 2025. Um, as some of you may know, I was doing, multiple things. I was working for a matchmaking company for a couple of years, and that ended earlier this year. So I've been 100% in my business since then. But then I had the surgery and recovery and blah, 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 blah. So 2025, right? I'm doubling down. I am so excited to work with women that are ready to do some work, breaking their addiction to busyness, getting ready to make a big ass up level in their career, in their life, whatever that is. But in order to do that, we have to be willing to surrender and to trust and really learn to be safe in the quiet. Because often when we get quiet, we have to go do something. There's something that, um, so I don't know, a year or two ago, I was supposed to go to a 3-day workshop. And at the last minute, I just had too much on my plate and I chose not to go. So the first morning I woke up. Now, mind you, I blocked off my calendar. So I had nothing actually scheduled appointment wise. So the first morning I woke up and I went and read. And I was sitting reading. And all of a sudden, I started to feel a little anxious. And I said to myself, my inner voice said, "Oh, I have to go do something." And because of the work that I've done, I recognized in the past, I would have just gotten up and done something. But I went, what's going on here? Because you actually have nothing to do. Like I had nothing scheduled to do. So I didn't have to do anything. So I'm an EFT practitioner. And for those of you that don't know what EFT is, you might also know it by tapping, but it gets to the root, it gets to the subconscious of what is going on. And that's not a great way of explaining it, but if you're interested, reach out and we can talk more about it. But it gets to the subconscious root of the issue. So I started tapping on this. I have stuff to do. And what came up was that my worthiness, my worth is tied to what I do. And I can give you 100 examples of, people reaching out when they need something from me. That's what I'm good for. So There's a story, and then I have evidence of the story, right? So I make it true. So I tapped on this and got to the root of, well, if I'm not doing anything, I'm not worthy. Ouch, right? Because that's not true. But there's a piece of me that believed it was true. So when I did some clearing, I sat a little bit longer and read my book. I had to sit in that discomfort in order to get to the other side of it. And often we aren't willing to sit in the discomfort. So I invite you to pay attention to that. And that's how change happens. That's how we break the cycle of our addiction to busyness. One of the things that I've done for myself since my surgery in October is I haven't set an alarm clock. I get up when my body feels ready to get up. And I said to my husband the other day, I was like, it's interesting because I am not a morning person. I'm the two alarm clocks going off for 2 hours and then like crankily getting up. Maybe that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but I'm definitely one of those like, memes, like just hit, 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 hit. And he's going, honey, get up, honey, get up, honey, get up. And he's been up for an hour. And what I noticed is by not putting the alarm clock on, I get up when it feels right to get up and I'm honoring me and what I need and not doing something because I think that's what I'm supposed to do. Now, obviously, if I have appointments, I'm getting up, in time for the appointments. Yeah. So it's just awareness. I'm one of the things that I've also done in 2024 and plan on continuing into 2025 is saying yes to aligned opportunities or aligned people and no to things or people that don't serve me anymore or that haven't created alignment in my life. Some of them have been easier to let go of, some of them are harder. Some have had a grieving process, some I'm still in it, some were easy. You know what? This never served me. I'm out of here. Um, and then finding the people, the groups, the opportunities that are more in aligned with what I want to bring to my life in 2025. As we come to an end of this year, I think of, it's not the big things, it's the small things that really bring me joy, bring excitement and power to my life. It can be a simple conversation with my husband where we go deep on a topic, or laughing with a friend, dancing around my house, because I do that when nobody's watching and sometimes when people are watching. So as I leave 2024 and step into 2025, I'm really looking forward to leaving some of the bullshit that I've carried for 60 years because it's still there. It's still there. Comes up differently, but there are some old habits and some stories and beliefs and fears that still show up. And as I step into 2025, my word of the year is intentional. And I chose that word because for 60 years, I have been the person to get shit done. And I will get it done, even if it's at the last minute, but it's at the expense of my peace because I'm running to do and get it done. And going into 2025, I really want to be intentional. I don't want to be running around crazy. I'm going to say 60 is midlife. If for the next 60 years, I want to be doing something a little bit, I want to be breathing more. I want to be, I want there to be more quiet space. I want to focus on me, my physical being, my emotional, my mental, my spiritual well-being, and I'll find things that are going to serve what I want to bring to me in 2025 and to my clients. Because if I, it's the old adage of if I'm not putting the oxygen mask on me, I can't hold it for my clients, right? So I am holding that on me so that I can really help my clients level up this year. So I invite you to look at and maybe create a list of what you're leaving behind. And what are you stepping into 2025 with? What are your new habits, beliefs, fears? And I'm not a big goal person. I know I'm a coach and I should be all about the SMART goals, but I'm just not. I'm more about intention. And yes, you do need to set goals. Don't get me wrong. If you want to achieve certain things, let's call them milestones and not goals. But there are milestones, right? There are things we need to do in order to change habits and patterns and blah, blah, blah. But what are you leaving in 2024 and what are you embracing in 2025? And if you have a word of the day, a word of the year, sorry, word of the year, how is that going to help support you? Because for me, intentional is in everything, right? How does this serve me? Does this serve me? So I invite you as we close out this year to really create that list for yourself, to look at it. And I'm not all about, oh, 2024 sucks and I can't wait for the next year. It's not that. Because all we're doing is turning the page of a calendar. But there is some power in closure of one and opening the next. And if you think that this year sucked, I would challenge you to go back and look at what did you learn this year? How did this year really support you? I spent most of the year on my sofa and I still had a pretty good year. We could complain about everything or we can embrace everything. So as I take a nice deep breath, and I thank each of you for your support and for listening this year. And I invite you back to listen in 2025, starting in February. And I thank you for joining me every Friday on this journey towards a more enlightened, intentional, and fulfilling life. I really hope that today's episode maybe sparked something in you or inspired you to embrace your inner wisdom with and navigate your path with a renewed sense of purpose. Because it's so important to remember that transformation begins from within. Take a moment each day, connect with your higher self, trust that the universe is guiding you to your highest good. No matter what happens, everything is happening for you, not to you. If you found today's episode valuable, please subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with others that might benefit. All of my links will be in the show notes. As for now, this is Francine Tirrell. You've been listening to FN Fridays with Francine. Continue to shine your light and walk in peace and love. Happy New Year, happy holidays, and thank you.